One morning about a year ago, the usual junkyard routine took a surprise turn. Someone opened the back door and there he was, a cat, sitting calmly like he had always belonged there. He didn't run or hide. In fact, he acted like part of the team from the start. No one knew where he came from. He wasn't afraid and he didn't look lost. It was like he had just decided this junkyard was home now. That's how Buster became part of the crew. Later on, his brothers and sister showed up too. They were hanging around the junkyard, looking for food and safety. One by one, they were brought home and given a proper place to live. But when it came to Buster, something felt different. Instead of taking him home like the others, the decision was made. Buster would stay. Not on the streets, not as a stray, but as the official junkyard cat. He even earned a title, the office cat. Buster quickly made himself at home. He had his own food and water bowls, a litter box, and all the treats he could hope for. He became part of the daily rhythm. Whether it was curling up in a chair or popping up out of nowhere during a customer visit, he was always around. He even started greeting customers at the door. Sometimes, he'd walk right up like he was there to take payment himself. He wasn't just a pet. He became part of the team. When new employees were hired, Buster took on a new role, trainer. He'd sit nearby, watching closely, as if to make sure they were doing the job right. If anyone pressed a button on the printer, it was only a matter of seconds before Buster's paws were reaching in, trying to catch the paper. Every day, Buster followed his own routine. When customers pulled into the lot, he'd rush outside to check on them. He'd walk around their cars, hop on the hood, and give them his full attention. Sometimes too much attention. More than once, someone would come in saying, there's a cat in my car. And sure enough, there Buster would be, stretched out comfortably like he owned it. The staff tried to keep him off the vehicles, but Buster never listened for long. He seemed to believe every car in the yard was his personal lounge spot. At some point, it became a running joke. When asked who the boss was, the answer was easy. It wasn't the humans. It was Buster. But even with his role at the yard, a bond was growing. The man who worked there started getting more attached. He knew he couldn't bring Buster home full time. There were already house cats, and Buster's life was built around the junkyard. Still, he wanted more time with him. That's when he came up with a simple idea. Bring Buster home every weekend. At home, Buster turned into a different cat. He ran around the yard like he was doing laps, full of energy. He jumped up into trees, chased leaves, and acted like a kitten. He even played with the other cats at home, like they were part of his second crew. It was clear he enjoyed it. But by the end of the weekend, Buster was ready to head back to his post. Each Monday morning, he'd be back at work, greeting customers, watching over the shop, climbing into cars, and sticking his paws into the printer. Some days, he'd nap in the back seat of a car. Other days, he'd sit on the counter looking official. But every day he was there, on time, curious, and in the middle of everything. Sometimes there was a bit of guilt about bringing him back to the junkyard after the weekend. But over time, it became clear that Buster actually liked it. He was the only cat there and he loved the attention. People knew him. They joked about him. They looked for him when they arrived. It was his place. What started as a random appearance at the back door turned into something special. Buster wasn't just a stray who wandered in. He became a part of something. A team member. A friend. A bit of comfort in an unexpected place. Now, when someone asks where Buster came from, the answer is always the same. He just showed up one day. But in truth, it feels like he was meant to be there. A little buddy who made workdays lighter, weekends funnier, and every moment a little warmer. If this story touched you, give it a like. Even sharing this helps more animals find love.